Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today we are finishing up Bridesmaids. This is the fourth part and finale of Bridesmaids. Man, I've enjoyed recapping this movie and I hope you have enjoyed listening. I've been deep diving, so if you didn't see the first three episodes, go watch those and let's jump into this one. This one picks up where Annie's absolutely losing her mind at the bridal shower. So let's pick up there. Annie it's just too much. She just loses her mind. This is her lifelong friend. This new girl comes in and can spend a fortune. So it just makes Annie completely lose her mind. She just starts saying things like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Motherfucking Paris?" What woman gives another woman a gift to go to Paris together? What are you, lesbians? Again, it's a dated movie, but it's funny. Then she starts bringing up this cookie. There's a huge cookie out back, this heart-shaped cookie here, and a chocolate fountain. So Annie starts destroying it. She starts eating it. She starts kicking it over and punching it. P.S. So in the background of this scene, you can see somebody, and I believe she's supposed to be Lillian's mom. They don't introduce her. She is right to the right of Maya Rudolph there. Just right to the right. She's got red hair. She plays Charlie's mom in Always Sunny, one of my favorite shows, if you don't already know that. I love that show. Right there. There she is. Charlie's mom. Okay, so Annie's completely losing it, and Maya has to come out and say, "What are you doing? You're ruining my shower." They're just fighting, not getting along. It's not going well at all. Lillian says, "Annie, you don't even get a party favor." And the party favor, turns out Helen was giving away puppies and berets. I mean, sure, why not? If you're going to act like this, don't bother coming to my wedding. So you think that things can't get worse for Annie, but they always can. We see a really quick scene of Melissa McCarthy driving by with like 15 puppies in her car. It's so funny. She's decided she wants all these dogs. Annie is distracted by that for a second, but then a porcupine runs out in front of her car. So she throws on brakes so she doesn't hit it, and the car behind her slams into her. She's fine, but her car is not fine. The driver that hit her runs away. She doesn't have the money to fix her car. It's not working. It's just like she's just hit rock bottom. So Officer Rhodes is the one that comes out to take down the information of the guy that hit her and all that, and tells her, "I told you to get your lights fixed." She says, "I've had a horrible day." She starts to talk about Helen and what all went down, and he stops her and says, "This is not because of Helen." And he's upset because she's doing to him basically what Jon Hamm was doing to her. She made him feel like maybe she liked him, but then he says it's unfair the way that she treated him because she pushes him away. And he says, "You came home with me and then you left like it was nothing." Well, right during this time when they're trying to talk, Jon Hamm, a.k.a. Ted, drives up in this like douchemobile and acting like himself. He literally drives up and says, "What's up, fuck buddy? Can I offer some roadside assistance?" And Officer Rose is like, "Are you kidding me with this guy?" And he says, so Jon Hamm's character says that the cop talks weird. He doesn't understand he's Irish. And then he says, "Come on, dingus, TikTok. I got shit to do." So he gets her in the car. They start driving, and he starts basically saying, "If you want to service me while we drive away, I'd be okay with that." So it's like, again, she can finally see clear that everything is awful and that he's awful. And she says, "Let me out of the car." And he's confused. She says, "Will you please drop me off? Because I'd rather get murdered out here than spend the next 30 minutes riding with you." So he leaves her and completely drives off. Now, fun behind the scenes of this is actually a nod to Clueless. The same thing happens to Cher, if you remember that. Where the guy's not being nice, he ends up dropping her off, and she's walking by herself. Okay, so back at her house, she starts watching Castaway, and Melissa McCarthy comes over with her, 18 dogs, and says, I'm here to help you. You're having a pity party. You're being an asshole, Annie, which I love that she does that. She says, I'm life, and I'm going to bother you. I'm a friend here trying to be your friend, and you're whining to me that you don't have any friends. But it's so funny. She keeps saying, I'm life. I'm bothering you. I'm going to bite you in the ass. So she literally bites Annie in the ass. Stop slapping yourself. Stop slapping yourself. Well, it turns out Melissa McCarthy's character has a super secret job. We find out here she's very high ranking, working for the government. She has like 6 houses and tells Annie, you got to stop feeling sorry for yourself and trying to get her to snap out of all this. So from here, we see that it actually, I think hitting rock bottom and then having this pep talk has helped her. There she is biting her ass, by the way. It has helped Annie because we see that Annie starts baking again. There's a montage of music. She's trying to make this special cake. She ends up making a carrot-shaped cake because, again, the inside joke with the police officer and the carrots. And so she makes a carrot-shaped cake and takes it over to Officer Rhodes' house. We also see that she decides to finally go get her taillights fixed. So the Officer Rhodes had recommended this guy that she take her car to. He's very reasonable on prices and all. And so she takes it to the guy. And the guy says that he and Officer Rhodes are really good friends and says it's on the house just to repair the lights. So she ends up introducing her mom to the repair guy, and it seems like they're hitting it off. She drops off the carrot cake at Officer Rhodes' house. It says, I'm sorry on it. He looks at it, he leaves it, he goes inside. She drives back by to see if he's picked up the cake yet, and we see some raccoons basically diving face first into the cake. So it's Lillian's big day. It's the day of the wedding. Annie says she's not going, and her mom is like, come on, you should go, but Annie's just not having it. She's just rock bottom, in bed, not going. Well, Helen ends up knocking on the door, and you guys, I keep saying this, but I actually mean this. This is my favorite scene of the whole movie. Helen knocks on the door. She's trying to apologize for everything. We find out Helen's not actually a bad, whatever, guy, girl, whatever, but she's made really bad choices. It's like she doesn't know how to be a human. But we find out she has a really tough home life. Her husband is always gone. Her stepchildren are terrible to her. And anyway, so they go to look for Lillian, and Annie decides the best thing they can do is go find Officer Rhodes to get him to help find Lillian. Well, he's mad at her. He's ignoring her. So she comes up with this plan to try to get him to talk to her. So she knows where he's parked, of course, and she drives back and forth in front of him in increasingly reckless ways to try to get him to stop and talk to her. So it starts off with like, I'm texting while driving. Oh, I'm driving too fast. I'm littering. She literally narrates this as she's doing it, throwing things out the window. Oh, look at me, I'm littering. He's like, I'm ignoring. She pretends to drink a beer as she drives by. Then she says, hey, who's driving that car? And she and Helen are actually laying down in their seats in the car. And then she starts yelling, I'm topless, and driving by. And he still will not talk to her. So finally, she makes up her mind. She takes her car and bumps into the back of his. She taps the back of his police car. And so he's forced to get out and talk to her. So she says, I need your help. Lillian's been missing for 12 hours. And he ends up pulling some strings, traces her phone. Well, Lillian's back at her apartment. It's like neither of them thought about that, she could actually be at her house. Helen said she checked yesterday, but it sounds like she did whatever she did, went home, and she's just at home. So he is happy. She thanks him. He's happy that she got her taillights fixed, and they go on to try to find Lillian. So at Lillian's apartment, only Annie goes in, and Annie talks to her. Lillian's upset and says the wedding is completely effed. So they have a big heart-to-heart about it, like, why is it effed? And it's just about that she acknowledges that she doesn't even know Helen that well, and Helen's taken on all this stuff, and She is just kind of having a crisis before she gets married. It's her last night in her apartment by herself. It's just a lot, right? It just hits you. It's just a lot for her. Well, they reconcile. They have a nice moment. And Lillian shows, oh, by the way, will you look at this? There's a problem. And shows the dress. So, of course, she had gone to Paris to get this dress. Look at this monstrosity. This is the dress she's supposed to be wearing down the aisle. Well, Annie kind of snaps into actions like, don't worry, I will not let you walk down the aisle in this. We'll fix it. I promise we will fix it. Oh, God. I laugh so hard every time I see that dress. That is the most hideous, like, toilet paper gone wrong, whatever this is. Then from here, we go to the final scene where they're at the wedding. And okay, it's been an ongoing theme throughout the movie that Wilson Phillips is important to them. It's something that they listened to when they were growing up, talking about Annie and Lillian. And Helen has surprised them and had Wilson Phillips perform at the wedding. So, funny behind-the-scenes thing here, Paul Feig actually admitted he'd never heard the song Hold On before, which is playing in a loop in my head right now since watching this movie. He'd never heard it before. It was suggested by multiple cast and crew members for the scene, and they'd hoped to have, they tried to get them there to perform their own song. He said it was an excellent suggestion. The song fit with the film's theme, and luckily Wilson Phillips actually agreed to come perform the song for the movie. So the movie wraps up with, of course, Wilson Phillips performing, everyone's dancing. We do get to find out that Melissa McCarthy did end up hooking up with that air marshal because he's there at the wedding with all the puppies. Those puppies are so cute. They're little tuxes. How cute is that? The little whatever bow tie from the tuxes. Okay. Then we find out that, of course, Helen and Annie had made up in the car, and they're doing well now. They're making plans to go to Rock Sushi together. Then Helen says, your ride is here, and Annie looks over, and it's Officer Rhodes. So he says, it turns out he ended up going out and eating the cake that she left him. He said he had to fight some raccoons off for it, but he ate the cake. And everything goes well, and he says, I'm going to kiss you now. He gets a call, and he ends up taking her with him. He makes her sit in the back seat, and that's how the movie ends. It's so funny and so cute. I love it so much. There was talk about making a second Bridesmaids movie. Originally, they had talked to Kristen Wiig about it, and she said she felt like the story of Annie was done. There wasn't more to tell of that. But then it sounds like a rumor was circulating that there was going to be a part 2 where it focused more on Melissa McCarthy's character. Melissa McCarthy said, well, I'm in if everybody else is in, but if Kristen Wiig isn't going to do it, then it just doesn't sound like a good idea to me. So I selfishly hope for a second one, but I respect their stance that they wouldn't do it just for the sake of doing it, and they wouldn't do it without each other. We get a final scene here of Melissa McCarthy in bed with the air marshal, and that is the end of this movie. I love it so much. So much interesting behind the scenes stuff on this one. I really enjoyed going through it. The only other thing I will mention is Paul Rudd apparently is, he was in a deleted scene. He appeared as Dave, who briefly dates Annie. His role is actually uncredited, but if you are able to see the deleted scene section, he is in there. So I'm like, oh, how could you cut out Paul Rudd? I love Paul Rudd. Anyway, so that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this movie as much as I have. I've really enjoyed recapping it. Again, big thank you to Lilith for picking this one. So much fun to go back through it and watch and learn all the behind-the-scenes stuff to it. So hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.